Keanu Reeves, known for his humility despite his A-list status, was in a quiet McDonald's on the outskirts of town. He had always been one to enjoy the simple things. He didn't need lavish meals at five-star restaurants to be happy. Today, he just wanted a burger and some fries before heading back to his motorcycle. He stood in line, patiently waiting for his turn, blending in as much as possible with a baseball cap pulled low over his face. But despite his best efforts, the hushed whispers and stolen glances from customers made it clear that people had recognized him. A little boy, no older than 5, stood near the counter clutching his mother's hand. His wide, innocent eyes locked onto Keanu the moment he walked in. There was something different about the way he stared, not the usual look of awe or excitement when a child spots a celebrity. No. This was fear. Keanu offered a small smile, nodding politely as he waited in line. That's when the little boy did something unexpected. He let go of his mother's hand and shuffled toward Keanu. Keanu, ever the gentle soul, crouched slightly to meet the child's gaze. "Hey there, buddy," he said softly, offering a warm smile. "Everything okay?" The boy hesitated, his tiny fists clenched, his lips trembling. He leaned in closer, so close that Keanu could feel his breath on his ear. Then, in the faintest whisper, the boy said 6 words that made Keanu's blood run cold. "The man in the black car." Keanu's smile vanished. His heart pounded. His body tensed. He glanced out the restaurant's large front windows, his trained instincts kicking in. And that's when he saw it. Parked just outside McDonald's, in the farthest corner of the lot, was a black SUV. Tinted windows. Engine idling. It wasn't an unusual sight, this was LA, after all. But something about the way the boy had whispered those words made the air feel heavy, suffocating. Keanu turned back to the child, his voice barely above a whisper. "What about the man in the black car?" The boy's lower lip quivered. "He took my sister." A cold chill raced down Keanu's spine. Every muscle in his body locked up. This wasn't just some overactive imagination. This was real. In an instant, Keanu's mind switched gears. No hesitation. No second guessing. He reached into his pocket and dialed 911. His voice was calm but firm. "This is Keanu Reeves. I need immediate police assistance at the McDonald's on Westwood Boulevard. Possible child abduction. Suspect in a black SUV. Tell them to hurry." The mother, now noticing the distress in her son's face, rushed forward. "Daniel? What are you saying?" she asked, panic creeping into her voice. Daniel turned to her, his eyes welling with tears. "The bad man took Lily, Mommy. I saw her in the car." The mother's face drained of color. She gasped, looking wildly toward the SUV. "Oh my God. No, no, no." Keanu gently but firmly placed a hand on her shoulder. "Stay here. Stay calm." The SUV's brake lights flickered. It was about to leave. Keanu didn't think, he acted. He sprinted. Dashing through the parking lot, he reached the SUV just as it began to pull away. He slammed his palm against the driver's side window. "Itchy," he bellowed. "Stop the car." For a brief second, everything was still. Then, the driver hit the gas. Keanu barely jumped out of the way in time as the SUV sped toward the exit. But he wasn't about to let the man get away. Not while a child's life was on the line. In an act straight out of one of his own action films, Keanu Reeves bolted toward his motorcycle. The police were already en route, but he knew they might not arrive in time. He had to keep eyes on the vehicle. Revving the engine, he tore out of the parking lot, expertly weaving through traffic as he trailed the SUV. The driver, realizing he was being followed, started taking sharp turns, trying to lose him. But Keanu was relentless. Block after block, turn after turn, he never let the SUV out of his sight. Finally, just as the police sirens rang out in the distance, the black SUV made a fatal mistake. It ran a red light. A truck barreled into the side of the vehicle, sending it skidding into a street pole. Keanu pulled up just as officers swarmed the scene. The driver, A middle-aged man with a scar running down his cheek, was yanked from the car. And in the back seat? A little girl. Tied up. Gagged. Tears streaking down her face. It was Lily. The mother arrived minutes later, collapsing in sobs as she held her daughter in her arms. Keanu watched from a few feet away, letting the family have their moment. One of the officers turned to him. "You probably just saved that kid's life." Keanu exhaled, running a hand through his hair. "I just did what anyone should do." The little boy, Daniel, ran up to him and hugged him tightly. "Thank you, Mr. Keanu." Keanu crouched down, looking him in the eyes. "You're the real hero, buddy. You spoke up. And that saved your sister." Daniel beamed through his tears. As Keanu stood and walked back to his bike, the crowd that had gathered burst into applause. But Keanu? He just gave a small nod, climbed onto his motorcycle, and rode off into the sunset. Moral of the story? Heavy checkmark. A small whisper can make a big difference. Heavy checkmark. Heroes don't always wear capes, but they do listen. Heavy checkmark. If you see something, say something. You never know whose life you might save. Fire. What do you think? Would you have acted like Keanu? Let me know in the comments. Backhand index pointing down.